Today's learning target is to be able to write and graph equations using point-slope form. So point-slope form can be defined as y minus y1 equals your slope times x minus x1. So, and keep in mind, m is equal to your slope, just like when we did slope-intercept form. So let's look at example 1. I want to write an equation in point-slope form for the line with the slope of -5 and passes through the point -3, 6. So we've got slope of -5 and my point -3, 6. Alright, so this y here is always going to be in your point-slope form. So write y. So now I've got minus y1. Well, my y is 6, and it's positive, so I'm going to keep it the minus, equals my slope, which is -5, times x. Then I'm going to do minus a -3. So what do I always say about two negatives? This is going to become a positive. So it really becomes x plus 3. Now it's your turn. So please take a few minutes and solve the next example. So now we want to write an equation in point-slope form for the line with a slope of 2/3 and passes through the point 8, -4. So again, slope of 2/3, point 8, -4. So again, that y is always going to be there. So I've got y minus -4 equals my slope, which is 2/3, times x minus 8. So again, if we go over here, I've got the y minus -4, so when it's a negative and a negative, this is always going to be positive. So it becomes y plus 4 is equal to 2/3 times x minus 8. Alright, let's look at example 2. So I want to graph y minus 1 equals 2/3 times x minus 2. So our slope is 2/3. So if you notice, our slope is next to our x variable. So just like when you did slope-intercept form last week, I pointed out that the slope is always going to be next to your x. Alright, so then the point. Well, our ordered pairs are always in the form x and then y because alphabetical order, x comes before y. So my x value, I've got a -2 here. Well, if we write out the point-slope form, it's in the form of y minus y1 equals x minus x1. So I've got a minus here and a minus here. Well, it's going to be the opposite sign. So it's a positive 2x, and over here it's going to be a positive 1y. So let's go ahead and create your coordinate plane. Alright, so I'm going to start with the point 2, 1. So from my origin, I go to the right 2, and I go up 1. So now, using my slope, which is rise over run, I go up 2 and to the right 3. Now you can continue this on, or you just can connect the 2 points that you've graphed. So take a few minutes and go ahead and graph y plus 7 is equal to 4/5 x minus 4. Alright, so you should have noticed when you graphed that your slope is 4/5. So then your point, again, x comma y, alphabetical order. So x is 4. And with your y, you should have changed the sign to be a -7 because this is a plus instead of a minus. So graphing so starting with the point 4, -7, from the origin I'm going to go to your right 4, down 7. So then using my slope, which is 4/5, from this point I'm going to go up 4, and then I'm going to go to the right 5. So continuing on to the next page. So let's look at example 3. So it says using 2 points to write an equation in point-slope form. All right, so similar to last week, the first thing you have to do in this situation is find your slope using the 2 points. So I'm going to go ahead and label -2, -3, x1, y1, and 1, 3, x2, y2. All right, so using my slope formula, I've got 3 minus -3 over 1 minus -2. All right, so a negative minus a negative, this becomes a positive. So I got 6 over, again, negative and negative becomes a positive, so 6 over 3. So my slope is equal to 2. So now with point slope form, you can pick either point, -2, -3, or 1, 3, and you can write your formula. I'm going to write it in both ways. So first I've got y minus -3 equals my slope 2 times x minus -2. So again, these become positives because it's a negative and a negative. So, or you can write it using 1, 3, and you would end up with y minus 3 is equal to my slope 2, x minus 1. So take a few minutes and go ahead and try the now it's your turn, and write an equation in point slope form of the line that passes through 4, 0, and -2, 6. Alright, so for the now it's your turn, you should have gotten a slope is equal to 6 minus 0 over -2 minus 4. So 6 over -6, so your slope is -1. So you could have written it as y minus 0 equals my slope, which is -1 times x minus 4. So since we have a y minus 0 here, I can just write y equals -1 times x minus 4. Or you could have written y minus 6 is equal to -1 times x plus 2. Both answers are correct. Alright, so looking at example 4, using a table to write an equation. So the table shows the altitude of a hot air balloon during its linear descent. What equation in slope-intercept form gives the balloon's altitude at any time? And then what do the slope and y-intercept represent? Alright, so I'm going to use 10,640 and 3,590 to find my slope. So slope is equal to 590 minus 640 over 30 minus 10, which is equal to